money, about to lose your home. Don't lost your woman and everything you own.
Dominating the small screen for over 3 decades, Soul Train evolved beyond a mere music program, becoming a cultural heartbeat, a source of pride, and the birthplace of legendary dance moves for the African American community. That entertainment monument vanished suddenly, leaving millions of fans in shock. Behind this sorrowful end lay more than market shifts. It involved shocking, controversial incidents unfolding right on live television. Join us now as we uncover the truth about the fateful moment that put an end to the brilliant era of Soul Train. In 2006, at a Los Angeles studio, the atmosphere on the set of Soul Train became intensely strained. In an attempt to salvage plummeting ratings, the production team decided to revamp the show's image by inviting younger artists with bolder performance styles. The emergence of an overly sensual performance dealt a lethal blow to the standard of excellence Don Cornelius had meticulously built for over 30 years. When the stage lights flared instead of the soulful, fluid dance moves, fans expected the audience witnessed provocative body movements and costumes unsuitable for family viewing. Immediate public backlash followed. According to the Los Angeles Times, numerous complaints from parents and cultural advocacy groups flooded the station's office. They expressed deep disappointment that a show once seen as a symbol of pride, unity, and self-respect among people of color had transformed in such an unacceptable way. Criticisms targeted not only the performers but also the lax management of the show's leadership. Don Cornelius, who always maintained strict control over every frame of Soul Train, reportedly failed to appear or intervene in time to prevent the act. In a later interview, Don Cornelius shared his perspective on the pressure to adapt. "I understand that the entertainment world is always moving, and we cannot stand still forever, but there are core values I vowed to protect. Seeing the change I did not want, I felt like a part of the show's soul had left its place."
It was a mirror that reflected what was happening in soul music.
This remark reflected his skeptical mindset regarding the shift in the contemporary music market. This incident extended beyond public opinion, attacking the show's economic lifeline directly. Less than a week after that broadcast, numerous long-term sponsors who had been linked to the Soul Train brand since its inception withdrew their funding. Major consumer brands did not want their image associated with controversies regarding traditional moral standards. The lack of advertising revenue pushed the entire production system into exhaustion. Staff members who had once dedicated themselves entirely faced the risk of being unable to cover basic costs to maintain the show's visual and audio quality. A veteran production staffer who worked closely with Don Cornelius recalled, "We witnessed the collapse happening day by day. When the artist left the stage that day, the atmosphere was hauntingly silent, no applause. Just the astonishment of those who understood that our era had closed. That silence was the clearest expression of a brilliant period completely collapsing after an avoidable incident." The program, once a beacon for music and Black culture, celebrating values of love, peace, and soul, became the center of disdain. This event drove the relationship between the producers and the network into a dead end. The network management lacked the patience to protect a brand surrounded by negative media headlines. The aftershocks of this incident paved the way for an exodus of advertisers and deep skepticism from the network itself, ending all efforts to reform. The breakdown of trust between loyal viewers and the show's creators created a void nothing could fill. In the days that followed, the public witnessed the fading struggle of a legend as the final episodes aired in public indifference. These systemic shifts cleared the path for larger changes in the operational structure of an entertainment industry standing at the doorstep of a challenging digital era. Ripples from the hip-hop era. In the 1990s, the powerful rise of hip-hop changed the foundation of the U.S. music industry, creating a generational fracture in cultural approaches. At Soul Train, long considered the sanctuary of R&B soul and funk, This new wave brought entirely different aesthetic values and language. While rival networks quickly updated to include performances by pioneering artists like Public Enemy or Run DMC, Don Cornelius remained cautious to the point of conservatism. The conflict between traditional musical heritage and emerging tastes was not just an artistic issue, it became a survival problem regarding the audience demographic. Many cultural observers of the time pointed out that Soul Train became increasingly detached from the reality of contemporary young African Americans. Don Cornelius once shared on Billboard magazine, "We do not need to chase every fleeting trend. My goal is to keep Soul Train dignified where music is a meaningful, artistic message rather than just noise." This steadfastness inadvertently built a wall between the program and the new generation of viewers who yearned to find their own reflection in the raw, direct nature of hip-hop. This misalignment appeared clearly in the frequency of young artists appearing on stage. While the guest list maintained veteran names, the lack of faces representing street culture caused the show to lose its trendiness. Internal network surveys at that time showed that the 18 to 34 age group audience dropped significantly. This group was the primary demographic advertisers cared about, and their shift toward emerging cable channels dealt a heavy blow to Soul Train's revenue. The program, once a pioneer in shaping fashion and dance trends, began to appear old-fashioned and sluggish. In a television market analysis report, experts called this a brand identity crisis. Maintaining the traditional format with dancers in 70s-inspired costumes no longer appealed to a generation accustomed to the glamour of modern music videos. Production efforts to change, such as adding contemporary dance segments, were often evaluated as forced and lacking cohesion with the show as a whole. Soul Train was trapped between maintaining the founder's dignity and the need to innovate to adapt to a harsher reality. This lack of rhythm extended beyond content, reaching how the show conveyed its message. The values of peace and unity that Don Cornelius upheld began to be seen as too detached from the turbulent social reality that hip-hop was reflecting. When artists brought songs about harsh life in poor urban neighborhoods onto the stage, the contrast with the polite, tidy recording space of Soul Train became more pronounced than ever. This dissonance made viewers feel the show was no longer a place where they could find genuine empathy. Subsequent efforts to invite top rappers also felt like superficial patches, unable to restore the original appeal. The episodes aired during this period slowly became records of a bygone era rather than a vibrant form for contemporary music. The gap between cultural heritage and economic survival grew, forcing the show to face fierce competition without the absolute support of its loyal audience community. The battle against the giants. In the early 1990s, the US television landscape underwent a revolutionary reorganization with the expansion of specialized cable networks like MTV, BET, and VH1. These networks changed music access by focusing maximally on music videos and visually striking content. While Soul Train continued to operate on a traditional periodic broadcast model, with limitations in runtime and complex production processes, new rivals utilized 24/7 broadcasting advantages to saturate the market. The change in audience media consumption habits pushed the program into a difficult position when forced to compete with entities possessing massive financial power and extremely keen insight into reaching young viewers. According to Variety statistics, advertising revenue for traditional music programs dropped sharply as major brands shifted their budgets to cable channels. At that time, MTV and BET successfully built an entertainment ecosystem where music combined closely with the lifestyle and personality of youth. Opposing the tidy, somewhat rigid nature of Soul Train, these channels offered freedom and even rebellion, making Soul Train appear elderly in the eyes of a generation forming new aesthetic tastes. Despite possessing an invaluable heritage archive, Soul Train gradually lost its ability to hold viewers before the dunning attacks from content produced at high speed and with sharper image quality. Competition did not stop at viewer numbers, but was also a battle for the priority of artists. Previously appearing on Don Cornelius' stage was a guarantee of reputation, but now the priority of stars went to programs with the ability to spread more widely on global cable networks. Shows like Video Soul on BET quickly attracted top names thanks to the ability to promote products immediately. This caused Soul Train to lose the advantage of being the only place viewers could witness the most unique performances. The lack of A-list names caused the program to lose its natural appeal, a key factor in maintaining brand sustainability for many years. To cope, Soul Train's production team tested many methods to increase competitiveness, such as upgrading sound systems and changing studio designs. All efforts were overshadowed by unlimited financial power from rivals. A former production manager once shared in an internal document, "We are trying to maintain a heritage with tools from the past while our rivals are using technology from the future to occupy our space." These pressures not only exhausted economic resources but also gradually eroded the spirit of the creative team. The increasingly deep presence of cable television blurred the boundary between a simple music program and a comprehensive entertainment channel. When viewers became accustomed to switching channels constantly, the format of Soul Train inadvertently became monotonous. Instead of being a highly anticipated weekend music event, the program was gradually pushed back into less competitive time slots. This status change directly reduced the show's credibility in the eyes of distributors and advertisers. The more it tried to maintain its own identity, the clearer its limitations in adapting to the pace of the contemporary television industry became. Market share decline put Soul Train in a dilemma between maintaining an iconic image and compromising to survive. Losing its monopoly in music promotion created a large void where new rivals asserted dominance. Cracks in competitive ability set the stage for senior staffing changes when market pressure was no longer something that could be solved by individual effort. These pressures paved the way for power crises, setting the stage for the show to enter a period of turbulent staffing changes in the following part. The departure of the show's soul. In 1993, Don Cornelius officially announced his retirement from hosting, marking a tragic turning point for Soul Train's future. After over 2 decades serving as the face creator and leader, Don's presence became an inseparable part of this brand. His elegant demeanor, powerful, warm voice, and sophisticated hosting style created a strong emotional bond with millions of viewers. When he decided to leave the stage to retreat behind the scenes as executive producer, Soul Train forever lost the soul and core identity that defined its epoch-defining success. In an interview with the New York Times, Don Cornelius explained his historic decision. It was time for a transition to a new generation so the program could reach more contemporary lines of thought. However, finding an individual who could replace and maintain the value we had built was an incredibly large challenge. His successors, while chosen with immense care and boasting both radiant charisma and boundless youthful vigor, ultimately fell short in their attempts to capture the magnetic hypnotic charm and the profound institutional credibility that Don had spent decades meticulously forging. As time passed, the audience began to feel a growing sense of detachment and estrangement from these new personalities on screen. A palpable unease settled over the viewership, leading many to openly question the viability and future of a storied institution that had been unmoored from the steady, visionary leadership of its original creator. This profound absence of a singular authoritative voice at the helm left the entire production team adrift, struggling to find a coherent compass for the show's creative and content strategy. Desperate to regain lost momentum, the team launched a series of experiments with new, untested formats, all aimed at injecting a fresh, youthful vitality into the program's identity. However, these efforts frequently came across as strained and artificial, lacking the cohesive artistic vision and the organic flow that had once made the show a seamless, must-watch cultural phenomenon. Guest artists no longer felt the respect and importance of participating as they missed the handshake or sharp, insightful interview questions from Don Cornelius himself. The decline in leadership quality inadvertently eroded the spiritual values Soul Train once brought to its loyal fan base. This senior management change affected not only the visual aspect, but also directly impacted the ability to manage and operate the program. When Don Cornelius was no longer directly present on stage to oversee every detail of the recording process, the discipline and perfection he always valued were gradually loosened. Technical errors, lack of preparation, and fragmentation in segments began appearing more densely on air. a former associate once shared with Rolling Stone, "When Don left, he took the standards we had fought to maintain. Those who came after, no matter how hard they tried, could not touch the stature of a man who had truly lived and breathed with the show's rhythm." Losing the only face capable of connecting generations of viewers caused Soul Train to lose its most important competitive advantage over other entertainment rivals. This loss not only shook the structure of the program, but also reduced the confidence of advertisers in the brand's future. The harder it tried to replace the old image with new faces, the more blurred and lost the unique hallmark that had helped it dominate the music industry for so long became. The continuous personnel changes in the final years made the aura of the Soul Train legend fade, leaving deep regrets in the hearts of those who had stayed with it. Just during that wavering period, the explosion of the internet and online video sharing platforms created a final shock, changing completely how viewers approached entertainment and placing a period on a television empire, the digital age and the final end. The explosion of the internet in the early 2000s completely changed the media landscape, turning the habit of waiting for scheduled broadcasts into a luxury no longer relevant. With the emergence of online video sharing platforms, viewers began shifting toward actively searching for and enjoying music on individual demand, instead of depending on the fixed broadcast hours of television stations. Soul Train, which existed based on a seasonal and specific schedule structure, fell into a passive position before the dizzying speed of digital information. The need to wait until the weekend to see a segment became obsolete when every piece of content could be accessed with a single click, seriously reducing the exclusive content value that the show had painstakingly built. According to data from The Hollywood Reporter, Soul Train viewership declined year by year as the youth demographic segment, the pioneers in accessing technology, began abandoning traditional television to seek interactive entertainment experiences. Production efforts to promote the program through new media channels were still insufficient to offset the decline in traditional advertising revenue. High operating costs from renting recording locations in Los Angeles to pay for dancers and artists became an unbearable financial burden when revenue could no longer be guaranteed. A program CFO once admitted, "The current production model could no longer self-sustain in a context where brands were gradually cutting TV advertising costs to pour budgets into new and effectively measurable digital campaigns." Economic collapse not only caused production quality to deteriorate, but also created a domino effect leading to the departure of strategic partners. Studios that once recorded legendary moments now became empty and lacked vitality due to restrictions on decoration costs and staging techniques. When the glamour on stage was no longer guaranteed, the appeal to A-list stars gradually vanished, turning Soul Train into a stage no longer sufficient in stature to honor top artists. The imbalance between investment resources and public expectation pushed the program into a downward spiral without any feasible exit path. In 2006, when Soul Train officially stopped airing, this was not just the end of a television program, but also a confirmation of the end of a golden era. The final efforts of the production team to maintain the legend's survival could not win against the powerful flow of technology and the irreversible change in mass audience tastes. Stopping was a painful but necessary decision to preserve the cultural heritage built over 35 years. The values regarding the spirit of unity, honoring art and Black pride that the program left behind will remain an eternal heritage in the hearts of many generations, even though the stage has officially closed its curtains. The disintegration of Soul Train in the digital era is a valuable lesson about the adaptation of cultural values when facing destructive technological revolutions. Though no longer present on television as a living entertainment entity, the program lives forever in the memories of millions through archived materials and community values that have been deeply ingrained in American culture. Closing this journey, full of glory and controversy alike, opened a new chapter for the appreciation of the program's historical contributions within the community. Its departure is not forgetfulness, but a transformation, so that core values continue to be searched for, learned, and preserved in a completely different media environment. What remains after this end is the most authentic proof of the durable vitality of an icon that once completely changed the way the world viewed popular culture. If you feel nostalgic for those golden melodies of a time, do not forget to click like and share this video to spread the story of the Soul Train legend to more people. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next exciting journeys exploring entertainment history. Thank you for joining us in this video and see you in upcoming content.